Okay. Hello and welcome back to the Generational Podcast. This is episode 57,
And my name is Stephen Brown,
and my name is Owen Brown, and I'm the son.
and I'm the father.
So, recently we come to a conclusion that YouTube has been pretty mad at us.
Yeah, they pretty much don't like the contents that we put out. They're not.
Jab.
Yeah, they don't like any of the. They feel like they're jabbing us in the face and what's going on. They're throwing those stiff jabs at us,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't want our content out there because obviously it goes against their standards or their. I don't know what else to say other than their standards or maybe their views.
The false information, they said,
Yeah,
which is
well,
nice to hear.
because we know that if it's false information, that it's actual information that people need to hear.
Yeah.
Whether it's false or not needs to be dictated by the person hearing it, not by the platform that's being said. So we've decided that we're not going to be on YouTube specifically anymore. We're not going to be exclusive to YouTube. We have been working on other platforms,
Mm-hmm.
and hopefully we'll be on multiple platforms. Maybe YouTube will be one of the ones that they decide to distribute it to. But we are making this our final one that we're going to upload to YouTube
Right?
because they are not cooperating with us and they're kind of shadow banning us on everything.
I agree.
So what we're doing right now is for those of you that have subscribed to our YouTube channel, we wanted to put this out there for you guys. We will be on Spotify, and we're going to probably have our first podcast on Spotify probably today, maybe.
Yeah, either today or tomorrow.
And I hope that you guys will continue to listen to us, and hopefully we'll be able to grow with Spotify because we've kind of given up on
Yeah,
it, and nobody likes to be banned from things. So,
twice in a row, so.
and it really puts it, when they do that, they put us through a week of like not being able to post anything.
Oh, they put us through not just 1 week. They put us through maybe 2, 3 weeks, so about a month.
And that really hurts us, and then we can't get our stuff out, and it's kind of their plan. And we want to be able to put content out whenever we want to put content out, and as much content as we want to do, and whatever content we want to do, and they want to regulate us. I feel like their hand is on our neck and they're choking us.
Well, I know that we'll have to move somewhere else, and this is the switch.
Yeah, so unfortunately it won't be an easy switch. We have to learn a whole new platform and how to do things a little bit differently, but hopefully it's worthwhile.
They
Um,
say it's not
it's not
it's
what
not the angle, it's about the journey.
the angle.
The angle.
Oh, the end
End
goal.
goal.
The end goal.
Maybe I
Yeah.
should put out my consonants a little better.
Well, you
End
have a stuffy nose.
goal.
And we've also got a few things in our personal life that we've been doing recently, training really hard, ice baths.
As you can see, he slimmed up a lot.
I'm trying to slim up and buff up. Curls for can't say that.
Curls for girls, baby. Curls for girls.
And I've got also some photos of you doing your poses.
Ah.
Yeah. So we have a lot of so we're gonna go ahead and put a little bit of content out in this one. There's a lot of stuff going on. Roger Stone has his what is it, like a radio show going on right now, and they're talking about a bunch of stuff going on. And I've come to the conclusion, I don't know about you, but I've come to the conclusion that Congress, the House of Representatives, they're all worthless.
Oh, they all work together.
Yeah, it's worthless. Like there is a bunch of like, oh, we're gonna do this and we're gonna do that. When it comes down to it, I'm a constitutionalist. I'm part of the Constitutional Party.
Right.
There is a Constitutional Party, and I think it would bode well for a lot of people to stop doing Republican or Democrat and do Constitutional Party, because what's going on right now is Congress and the House, they have not stuck with the Constitution. I found out that Obama took away what was I telling you about?
Habeas corpus.
Habeas corpus. So that's bad. And then on top of that, the Biden administration has violated our Fourth and 10th Amendments.
And you know
So,
what? I think it's a lot better if we start like bringing out papers just so people can believe us better.
yeah, I mean, well, the Fourth Amendment is illegal search and seizures of American citizens
Right.
without probability, and you have to be actually committing a crime for them to start to get in your life and start to follow you. And what's happened to us is we've been followed.
Oh
So
yeah.
we've been followed, we've been harassed, we've been banned on social media, and it's a complete violation of a Fourth Amendment right. There's nobody in Congress or the House that stood up to that. You know, I would love to get a constitutional lawyer and sue the Biden administration over this. I really would, because I'd sue him for millions.
When you speak of search and seizure, I think about all the information that gets stolen off of your phone through your cameras, your pictures.
Yep.
Now, you might be still signing an agreement with some of these companies, but on the other hand, they shouldn't be able to track you through other apps.
Yep. And then on top of that, you have the fact that we've been followed, like literally followed in our cars, in our vehicles by people.
Right. And you
And
can follow people by electronics just by you having that electronic.
well, yeah, and then we've sat in parking lots where we've had to do our work, and because I work with other people's private things. So I'm in other people's houses and I have photos of pretty much everything that they have, their rooms.
Mm.
And that's when the FBI has tried to get into my stuff when I'm dealing with other people's homes. That's a violation of their Fourth Amendment and a violation of mine.
And that's why you're so keen on having cyber protection, making sure that you don't click on any cyberware. And
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
you've gotten smarter over the years
Well, I
when
have
it comes
to
to that.
because I really believe in people's right to privacy, and you have the right to privacy. The Fourth Amendment covers that, and we have people in government that have completely violated their fourth. And the DOJ. They're completely violating the Fourth Amendment. They need to be sued. They need to be stripped of their powers.
You know, they're trying to build it through cryptocurrency right now. What I mean by that is by switching to cryptocurrency, now when they track your banking, at a certain point we're not going to have cash. So that means that with cryptocurrency, they're able to track what you buy, how much you take out, where you buy it, who you're buying it from, what you're buying it with, and that information doesn't need to be disclosed.
That's private information.
That's private information because that's your private property. You're buying that thing.
Yeah. And they're trying to do it through globalization.
And that's even worse.
And like, I have an issue when the UN is saying, "Oh, America needs to stop eating meat." Well, the UN needs to stop being the UN. You guys need to be dismantled.
And you know what? I can't believe that they're telling us to not eat meat when they're in giant conferences, sitting in luxurious places, watching the ocean view, eating their fish, eating their steak, drinking their wine.
When they flew in on their big jets, saying that we all need to be on electric.
Right.
This is, it's the most disheartening thing I've ever seen in my life. And they don't care about the little guys, and they get angry that American citizens like us can have this platform. And of course, we're probably gonna hear YouTube's probably gonna ban it again this episode. So that's what they do, because they're all owned by the same people. And gratefully we can try to move on to other places.
Right, and keep trying, because that's what we're about.
Yeah, not giving up, because giving up is what they want us to do.
Right.
And we, even though we haven't posted anything for a while, we have to realize that this is the fight, and we're in it. And whether we like to be or not, we're in it. And we put ourselves in a position of, hey, we're gonna speak the truth. We're gonna let our viewers know, and we're gonna keep on pushing.
Right. And you should do more research and figure out what's going on around the world, because at a certain point, that thing that you're ignoring is going to come back and bite you.
Yeah.
That's the same thing that happened in Germany.
Yeah, it's a lot of people with their head in the clouds and they're not thinking about it, but we still have the DOJ hasn't come and knocked on everybody's door yet to take them away. So we still have rights and we still have ways to fight them. What I'd like to do is anybody out there that knows a constitutional lawyer, please get a hold of us at sbrown28@g.emporia.edu. That's my email. Again, that's sbrown28@g.emporia.edu. I really want to file suit against the Biden administration for violating the Fourth Amendment rights. And anybody else out there that has had the same thing happen, if you'd like to get together so we can all sue the Biden administration together, then that would be great too, because it's really put a damper on my life. It's put a damper on my ability to make money. It's put a damper on my mental status because it's really difficult when you haven't violated any criminal laws, but you're treated like a criminal and you're not allowed to post things on platforms because the DOJ and the Biden administration is silencing your right to speak,
And
and
this
they're in
isn't,
cahoots with these
you're
organizations.
right. This isn't just you, this is other people as
Yeah,
well.
I know it's not just me, but I'm telling you what, if we can get a lawyer and we can sue the Biden administration together and we can all be millionaires on top of it, then I can buy my own cattle and eat steak all day and just kind of give the big FU to the UN and the WEF and all those people saying that we need to go and get extra things that we don't need and we need to do this and that for the environment. The environment's, what's funny is they try to make it about meat, and that's like not even 0.04% of what the problem really is.
Right.
When you have other countries that I'm not going to name that are highly more polluting, and we're one of the most sensible countries when it comes to the environment. We're one of the most careful countries when it comes to the environment. We care the most. But all the rest of the countries don't care. So why are they trying to make us not eat meat? I was thinking about it was
Didn't we have a book called Animal something? Was it Animal Farm?
I don't remember. But when you're not eating meat, it really messes with your mental status. It makes you crazy, in my opinion. I think there's a lot of people that go vegan and then they get their proteins from this, that, and the other. Listen, good for you. I still think every vegan that I've talked to, every person that I've been like, oh, I'm a vegan or I'm a vegetarian, there's something off. Maybe it's the iron that they're not getting. I don't know, but there's something off, and I'm just like, yeah, I don't want to do that. I feel very, very strong when I eat meat. I feel good. And, what is more manly than out there cooking some steaks on a grill?
Right. And
That's kind
taking
of
that
like,
manliness away is something that
oh,
is horrible.
yeah, it's definitely something worth fighting over. And, it's really something that I feel like,
Have you heard of a vegetable grill out where everybody comes together and eats
yeah,
vegetables?
let's go ahead and grill our vegetables. Now that you said that, there's probably going to be one. They're gonna probably have a vegan. We're gonna have a vegan grill out, and we're gonna grill our vegetables. Well, those vegetables scream when you pick them.
The
Did you know
crunch that you hear?
the high frequency there, and they actually found out that all the plants feel and they communicate. And I was just like, man, I guess you can suck air and drink water now, vegans, because you don't want to hurt anybody. That's the thing is like, I mean, don't get me wrong, Nick Diaz is a vegan, or Nate Diaz is a vegan, but he's crazy.
Oh yeah,
Dude's
he's
crazy.
nuts.
Like, dude's crazy. Like, I'm not gonna. Like, I think that's the reason why he's a little bit crazy, is because he's vegan. Like, there's something wrong with every vegan that I've met, every vegetarian that I've met. There's
But
something off.
but you know what's really wrong? Giving cats a label that they're vegan.
Yeah, that's not
Like,
good.
have you seen vegan cats?
Yeah, I've seen it.
I researched it after Joe Rogan talked about it, and these cats
They look
really
horrible, don't
look dead.
Yeah.
They look like they got nothing in their lives.
They look like Joe Biden.
Oh yeah. What's funny is this woman, she put out cat food, right? Just meat and all that. And then her vegetables, she was like, my cat is gonna eat the meat. No,
No,
well, no,
vegetables.
vegetables, but I eat the meat, of
Yeah.
course.
So because cats,
They're carnivorous.
that's what you get. You
They're
get
like,
power. They know.
yeah,
They know.
they know, they
And
know.
then you have people like what's going on now. What gets me is that you got people like Bill Gates, right? He's buying up all these farms and everything, and like he's poisoning the food. And like I figured out his big play because he was on Lolita Express, that flight that goes to that island that nobody wants to talk about.
Mm.
Because he was on Lolita Express,
Oh, Pleasure Island.
yeah, well, we'll say Pleasure Island. So because he was on Lolita Express and he already did a settlement with some of the victims from the Pleasure Island,
Mm-hmm.
and I realized that a lot of the stuff that he's been doing is a power play because if you're that rich and you want to buy up food for a country and most of the land in the country, then you can turn around to whatever government administration and be like, all right, if you lock me up, I'm going to burn it all, and then your country's going to starve. What a power play that is! What a
But the
power
thing
play!
is, I don't think America is the one that's gonna starve. I don't think that's at all because we have too much produce. I think it's not America, but other countries that are gonna starve because of that.
Well, here's the other thing:
And he's
is
using that as a leverage against the UN.
well, the Russia, right? So Russia,
Russia
they've banned any non-GMO. Like
they did.
you can't have any pesticides or anything on any of the crops out there. Well, when you do that, you're cutting America out of a big market,
Mm.
right? So that's another thing that's going on. And I've said it for a very long time that farmers need to stop using the pesticides and start going back to the old ways of doing things.
The old ways.
The old way, because it just helps the environment more, and then we can just, we'll be able to. You might have to dip on some of the crops. You might end up, some of them might be dying off, but that's why you recourse, you restructure things.
My favorite thing is when farmers are able to manipulate the ecosystem and add new insects. New insects, what I mean by is cultivate the insects that are already living in the area that doesn't hurt the environment, but still keeps the control of the population and make sure that the pests that they don't want die.
Yeah, that's interesting that they can do things like that, and there's alternative ways of doing that out there, and you won't have to be poisoning the people you're trying to feed.
And the thing is, my another part of that is manipulating the ecosystem. What I mean by that is you can add different plants into the mix, like different herbs
Mhm.
and spices to keep all the bugs away from
Mhm.
all your crop. Of course, you're gonna have to test it out. You're gonna do a few things, but it's way better than using
Yeah,
pesticides that causes cancer.
yeah, and that's another thing is that we need to start to realize that a lot of this ecosystem stuff is just a complete system of. It's like a okay, like Dave Chappelle, like he
Hmm.
was saying this morning, everybody's friends, and he was talking about the three card money thing. If you haven't seen Dave Chappelle's like explanation of the whole Netflix and
Jamie,
HBO.
Jamie, pull it up.
Yeah, yeah. I wish we had a Jamie, but basically he's saying a story of where there's a game called Three Card Money, and you make bets on the card, and you
Hmm.
choose red or black, right? Well, he sat there long enough, and he saw that all the guys that were in the crowd that were cheering on the guy doing the three card money and everybody betting, they were all friends, and they were all in on it, making money.
Hmm.
All these people that are selling us the crops to crop dust to get rid of the pesticides, they know that it's going to cause cancer, and then they're turning around and they're part of the medical industrial complex, and then the medical industrial complex, they're all friends with the people that are running the real estate,
And then they're all friends with the bankers.
and then they're all friends with the bankers, and it's one big cycle, and all we are the players getting robbed.
Right.
And once we realize this, the better off we can be. For me, I told you I'd love to get somebody like Elon Musk on the podcast, and I'd like to talk to him about actually, I'd like to propose to him a deal where,
Well, not just one, I say multiple.
well, I would like to propose to him a certain thing with the medical industrial complex using Tesla technology and creating Tesla hospitals,
Mm.
and then also putting students into colleges to become doctors to get out of there to work specifically at Tesla hospitals for their entirety of their lives. They signed a contract saying, hey, we put you through college, we need 10 or 15 years of you working at the Tesla hospital, and then in turn we turn around and we create insurance that's a lot lower than the insurance standards out here, because right now people are spending for family insurance anywhere from $800 to $1,000 a month, which is insane. When you have developing countries like Japan where you can pay $35 per person, or $30 per person. You get to choose between two standards of care. But we don't have that here. It's just you're stuck paying these insurance premiums, and it's all the same people that don't have the best interests of the citizens at heart. They have the best interests of their wallet. And I think if we get somebody like Elon Musk, somebody that's got billions, who has SpaceX, who can do these things, and I think he would love the fact that if we had Tesla hospitals with the best technology, and then you have to get Tesla insurance in order to have the best care at these hospitals, but the Tesla insurance is cheaper than all these other places that are charging astronomical amounts even for a hospital stay. But if we can go in and we can undercut all the medical industrial complex at their knees, and then we can bring them down to a lower level, so we're no longer having to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars or thousands of dollars every month, for middle and lower income families, and even families that are rich, they can bring their costs down too. I think that if we can get somebody like an Elon Musk or somebody that's that rich into investing into something like this, then we can change the whole American, their whole. We can turn the American medical industrial complex on their head, the insurance companies on their head, and we can literally make America really a better place again. Because right now it seems to me that it's beaten every American down, and the Biden administration isn't doing anything about it. They don't care, because you have all the Congress, everybody in Congress, and all the government people. They're all in on it. They're all taking money from us, and even it might be, for one family, for us, they might be taking taxes, and like you'll be fine, right? You're gonna be all right. No, just chill out. I'll get it for you in a second. You need to talk on this one. So, like for one family, for like us, it's X amount every month. Well, for another family, it might be more or less. But what we can do is put in better competition. It's kind of like, we have those three. I'm going to get it for you in a second. We have those three top companies that are Vanguard, BlackRock, and State Street, right? Those are monopolies, and the FCC hasn't done anything about it. That's another governing body that isn't doing their job.
Well, I will say that you're right. I do believe that this is something that needs to occur. But my problem is how we're going to get to the point of talking to Elon Musk.
Well, I mean, hopefully somebody will share this on X and he'll see it. This is kind of the only way that we have to try and reach out to him. It's just one of those things where it's got to be people like him that have a whole lot of money that are like, okay, listen.
Aren't they called philanthropists?
Philanthropists, yes.
Philanthropists.
But, I don't have that money. Otherwise, I'd do it myself.
But then you have the ideas.
I do have the ideas. And that's another thing, is I've got a ton of ideas about how to make this country a lot better place. Because the competition here is all under three companies. But if we can set something aside that undercuts all of them, it's kind of like, in production, when you have an item, right, we can all get this item, say a tomato. We grow the tomato, right? But the tomato is cost effective of $1. But the only people that are able to distribute the tomatoes are these three companies, and they've all agreed that they're going to make everybody pay $10 for a tomato.
Right.
But if we're able to have that delivery system and the production, and we're able to grow that tomato for $1, then we can kick it out for $3, and we'll undercut those guys that are selling it for $10. And then if we do it better and our tomatoes taste better, then we're able to create a better quality tomato, at a way better price for everybody,
The
and then that ruins those other guys that are selling it for $10.
but the problem is those guys that are selling it for $10, they still have workers underneath their thumb,
Well,
and those workers are people in themselves. They have families. They have
you know, I understand that, but at the same time, when they lose out on their company, they're gonna need jobs. We can open up more jobs.
right.
The thing is that this market that they've had control over for so long, and it's now a monopoly that they can all choose to do and push the country in a certain direction. It's not fair to the little people. It's not fair to people like us. It's not fair to people that are working 9 to 5s. It's not fair to people that are working 4 to 7s, right? Because those are the people that really matter. I don't care about elite people. I really don't care about movie stars. I don't care about, you know me. I don't care about movie stars. I don't care about presidential status. I don't care about any of that. What I care about is the person that had, because I am that person. I identify as a person. I had to wake up and drive a truck. I had to wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning to go get in my truck by 4:30 so I could be on the road to deliver groceries. I've been that guy. I've worked at the garbage stations. I've had to get up early. I've had to do all these things. Those are the people that matter to me. I could care less about the guy that's from the biggest richest family already, and he's I don't care about impressing that person because they've got everything. I care about the guy that doesn't have anything, that's been working his fingers to the bone, and nobody cares like that anymore. It's always about,
I wouldn't say nobody cares about it, but
it seems like nobody cares about it. It's to me, you know. What do you think?
well, I wouldn't say. I will say that there are people out there that are trying to take away from us, of course, trying to take away from people underneath them, so no one gets to the next
Level.
class or the level, as other people might say.
Yeah.
My biggest problem is when those people are overstepping their boundaries. What I mean by that
Right.
is they're already overstepping their boundaries by coming after people that are lower class than them,
Yeah.
which I don't understand why. Maybe
Control.
because it's
control.
always control, but the control is crazy.
It's a hate thing too.
It is a
I
hate thing.
I think it's one of those things where it's like you've been told your entire life that you're the best and you're the number one and you're this and that, and then when you find out that this guy that delivers groceries or this guy that's your garbage man is just as smart as you,
Well, I
or
wouldn't
just as
just say
athletic
just
as
as
you.
smart or just as athletic. I would say that they're cared about more in their communities, and that's what they get mad at.
You think
It's the attention.
you think it's attention.
I think it's attention.
Well,
I think
I don't know,
that these
dude.
people want attention,
Well, I
control, and attention, right?
they want to show that they're the
Top dog.
yeah.
But then why? I just don't understand from my perspective.
See, my old thing is like what I was taught was when you make that money, shut up, shut up. That's what I was taught. You shut up. You don't talk about you making your money. You just carry on your stuff and you let people believe what they're gonna believe and you let them act like they're gonna act. And then you know who's who and where they stand in your life. But with people that already have money and they want to show, well, I can destroy you, or I can control this person, or I can do that. I think a lot of it has to do with mental illness. Like that's a disease. Having that kind of mindset's got to be a disease to me.
They also see this reaction in animals, actually. Like,
Really?
yeah, like old giraffes. Old giraffes become sterile. And when they become sterile, especially males, they come back and kill all the children because they don't want them growing up and being as big as they are and pushing them out of their positions. So the older giraffes will come by and kill the kids. What I mean by that is they'll
I
kill the
understand.
little giraffes and
Yeah.
then they will leave. So poachers will have to come up and kill the old giraffes.
So, and yeah, that's well. I see. I don't. But it doesn't have to be that way. The thing is
We're smarter. It doesn't have to be like that.
yeah, we are not animals. We are people, and we should be able to have common decency to, you know, to not try to poison people, to not try to lie to people, to. But at the same time, there needs to be some accountability. And the
That
thing is,
accountability is supposed to be the government.
well, they're not doing their job. The FCC isn't doing their job. The DOJ isn't doing their job. The, obviously, there's if people were doing their job, we wouldn't be overrun right now with illegal immigrants.
At the same time, we wouldn't have not just illegal immigrants, I would say fentanyl overdoses
Yeah,
at the rate that it is currently.
yeah, we
We
would.
wouldn't have all this all these conflicts around the world if we were strong enough. Well, we are strong
We
enough. We're
are.
just not acting
And then
in the correct manner by funding both sides. I think that's very stupid.
I think that's just another plan to try and bring about more control over people because if you if you see the biblical thing, what the Bible says, you have people like, the administration that's currently in power. They see that and they're trying to bring about that. So it makes people already scared further. Instead of being scared of COVID or instead of being scared of pneumonia, they're scared of, oh, it's going to be the end of the world soon. And that's not fair. To make people believe that is, and you can't I mean, to make people believe that and to push that agenda is a sin to me. I think it's horrible and I think it's despicable. I don't think that anybody that's a decent human being would do that. But it's being done. And it's being done by the current administration. And it's being done with money that we don't even have. That's another thing, is we don't even have the money. But
Well, before you
they're
go
trying to
into another
sending.
thing, and then we go off and dive into
Another
another
a
hour
tangent,
or
yeah.
tangent, I would like to stop it because
We've got a
we were supposed to go
podcast.
to the
Yeah.
podcast.
So we've got another podcast that we'll be talking about this on, and we'll be starting over from
Scratch. We'll be starting
scratch.
now.
Yeah, I think so. You all right?
Oh,
So
it's the garage.
thank you
It's the heat.
for
Supporting us this far. We'll see you on Spotify next.
yeah. Bye.
See you later.